Okay, welcome to Living Abroad, the podcast. My name is Pumla Zita. I'm a South African born, living in Scotland, in Glasgow. And today we have my brother from South Africa. His name is Phillip Swart. Hi, brother.
Hello. Yeah, it's good to talk to you.
Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you again. Just like the back, like how we met, like on this Facebook group of South Africans living in the UK. And I was just interested, like it's just like one line where you wrote like how you're using your painting to connect with South Africa. That's what interested me, you know. And I got in touch and I just wanted to chat to you more, you know, how as a white South African and with everything going on back home, like the division, and how you still consider South Africa your home and you're still passionate, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, South Africa will always be my home. People, whenever someone asks me, where are you from? Or I'm always from South Africa, and I always am South African. It's just the reason also why I moved here is more because of family. And the situation in South Africa might not be ideal at the moment, but it doesn't mean I'm any less South African or have any less hope for the country.
Yeah, just like to go back, where were you born in South Africa?
Okay, so I was born in Paarl, which is about 50 km outside of Cape Town. So I grew up in the Western Cape, and when I got a bit older, I moved to Cape Town, lived in Cape Town. I studied there. I studied arts. I never finished my degree. I wasn't too keen on art history, just because it's like you have to it's like history, which can be interesting, but when it comes to an exam, you have to memorize things, and I did art for the expression of it. So I never got an art degree, but I studied for 3 years. Can I say getting an education already maybe bring out the talent and the passion that I already have. And I didn't do one specific medium. I did photography, I did sculpture, I did drawing, I did painting, I did graphic design, I did ceramics. So I really just tried to develop a creative, artistic sense into it. But that was about in the middle 1990s, about 94, 90, or it would be 94 to 96, for those 3 years. But I never really made art a career or got an income from it. And then also it came to a point where for quite a while I didn't do any art. I was involved with work and traveling and things like that. And then recently, maybe about 2 years ago, I started focusing. I mean, and I've always enjoyed doing it, but like about 2 years ago, I really started getting back into it. And I moved to the UK about 10 years ago.
So what prompted the move?
Okay. So my wife is British. She's from here, and we met in Tanzania. We were climbing Kilimanjaro without knowing each other. We met on the trip, climbing the mountain, and obviously we really liked each other, stayed in contact, and then she came over to Cape Town to visit, and she ended up staying. So we lived in Cape Town, and then we got married. But then also when we had children, and I work away a lot Like, and it's not an artist work. I
Yeah.
work in the medical field. And I do a lot of contract work outside of South Africa. So when we put children in the mix, and we thought, well, if I'm away a lot, she's not from South Africa. So she felt a bit, can I just say, a bit on the uncomfortable or unease to be there on her own without me. So we decided, well, let's move to the UK. She can be closer to her family.
Yeah.
While I'm away, because I go away sometimes for quite a while. And that's how we ended up here in the UK. And like I said, I've been staying here 10 years now. And in those 10 years, I've probably only been back to South Africa 3 times.
Okay.
So I don't really see my family other than through a screen or through a phone call or a video call. And obviously I really miss it. So what I find is when I create the art, I almost can like take my mind back to, well, if it's a particular scene, I feel more in it that way than looking at a photo or picture of that. Because then when I create it, I try to capture not just the landscape or a scene, but an emotion through the art. So that really helps to take me back home without physically being back in South Africa, at least like emotionally and mentally. In my mind, I'm back in South Africa.
Yeah, so tell me about like the latest painting of whatever you were imagining, the picture of South Africa.
You mean what I imagine South Africa is like now?
Yes, no, like a painting that you've recently made of South Africa, that like that scene that took you back. I haven't seen it. I'll probably see it in the picture, but just paint it for me. Like,
okay, so being from Cape Town, Table Mountain, I mean, everybody knows that it's iconic. There's no other mountain like it. I used to live in the City Bowl in Gardens, which meant when I walk out my door, the mountain is right there, almost in front of me. I used to go up Table Mountain a lot, hiked up, spend a lot of time there, like walk almost all of its hiking routes and walking routes. It's just really magical to me. And I always feel at peace in nature. And what really is nice of living where I used to live in Cape Town is like you can do like you walk 10 minutes up the mountain and you're in nature. Even though you can see the city down below, it's just so much peaceful, and you have the Atlantic Ocean and Table Bay and everything there. So the one I painted was then the view of Table Mountain, but from across the bay, from Blobergstrand. It's pretty much I would say the postcard picture of Table Mountain. But then also I tried to create an image that's not just a photographic replica. Obviously, it's quite obvious. You can see it's Table Mountain. And I also very much lately is starting to love to use watercolors. And even color pencils, and then a bit of acrylic paint to like create layers and depth in the paintings. Because like, I mean, with emotions and feelings, it's all also humans. We all human have different layers and feelings and emotions. So it was sort of like a sunset feel with a bit of an orange sky and then the blue water. And then the mountain that I made it. I don't have the original piece with me right now here. I do have a smaller print. If you want to see it, I don't know how it will come out on the screen.
Yes,
You've got to excuse the camera. My camera is very.
No, I can see it. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow. Now I'm going to ask you to describe another one again, because you're just taking me back home now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, do you have another piece?
The other one I have here, I actually have a few. What I've done is also, I don't want to
I
get
can
off.
see one, Philip, like behind you as well. Like those, yeah.
That one. Okay. Those are Maasai.
Yes, yes.
Because that was, that's not mine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Some
but then I got,
copyright.
no, I'm not going to take credit for someone else's work. But I got that painting when I was in Tanzania, and I mean it's so special to me because that's where I met my wife and
Yeah.
everything. So that one, and then there's some photos up there. But the other thing I've been doing is also, since I made this one, I had the idea of, well, I want to make a piece from every province, all 9 provinces, like something iconic to the province. So even though I'm from Cape Town, I mean, I've been all over South Africa. I'm not one of those people who just like, oh, I'm from Cape Town and I only been to Cape Town.
Yeah.
I traveled a lot within South Africa, and also as a child, my parents took us around. So I want to do something for every province. And then like for like more of the Kalahari region, I've made this also another sunset. I've got a thing for sunsets.
Yes, I see. Wow, that's
sunset or sunrise. So I got like this, like those thorn trees, and it's a simple subject matter, but I did this one. Thank you.
Wow.
And then also my favorite flower. So that you might recognize this one.
Yes, the fruit. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. So each time you're painting this, it just takes you back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's
so
really,
most of your painting is
drawn into it. Yeah.
Wow. So what was it like growing up? Like, so you grew up in like what, in the 90s? No.
Well, I said great. Well, I was 80s and 90s. I was born in 75. I'm 47. And as you would know, that time in the South African history was quite bad. And I'm Afrikaans, white, so you can imagine also often still now, I get a bit stereotyped in the UK. Oh, white,
really?
Yeah, Afrikaans, South African, like, are you racist? Like I wouldn't say that a lot, but like people still like, they're almost surprised to hear how my liberal thinking, and I don't know if it's maybe because my left and right brain and like artistic, and if that.
And you grew up in Paarl, where it was like pro.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there was unrest. We were like, actually, when I was 1 year old, my dad had a ear surgery in Tygerberg Hospital. And then later in the afternoon, my mother and myself and my older brother, he's about a year and a few months older than me, drove to pick him up, and we actually got caught in a riot, and our car got like stoned, and I actually got hit in the face and the glass and like stuff like that. I mean, obviously,
whereabouts were you?
I was standing on the back seat of our car.
No, which area in Cape Town?
Oh, Tygerberg.
Oh, okay, that side. Oh,
yeah. There. So back in those days, there's no like car seats for children. I was old.
Yeah.
And I mean, I still, I mean, there's a few scars on my face still from where the glass and like piece of a brick or a rock hit on the head. I mean, obviously, I have no recollection of it. I was 1 year old. I mean, I've seen some photos which I don't have with me, but that was like mid-70s, so it was really
Yeah.
volatile and violent then.
I mean, I was born in 86, and
Okay.
I still like remember, I think I'm probably about 7, 8. I remember my mom coming home and she was like brutally beaten on her back and things like that. Like, so it was hectic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm not gonna make out, oh, my life was so bad and like I'm a victim. It's just, I guess sometimes a lot of other innocent people also got caught in the crossfire, so to say. So from an early age, I think that also, and knowing what happened to me, can I almost say like opened my eyes to what was going on in South Africa and with the racial discrimination and the apartheid and all of that. Because I remember also when I was in primary school, it was you either go to all schools, all whites or all blacks, or how it was. But we were always also brought up like, in a way, you should always respect every human being, treat every human being. I live by the philosophy also, like, if a person's eye color is insignificant, why skin color be something to make a person see that person different? No one with brown eyes ever hear discriminated against someone with blue eyes.
Yeah.
So for me, it makes no sense by a skin pigmentation why a person's better or worse than anyone else. So for me, then race was never really a thing, but like as time, like in the 90s, when the ANC came into power, there was a uprising in more crime type of things, and security and safety like that.
Became a bigger issue now.
Yeah, because unemployment and stuff like that, which unemployment can almost, like, if unemployment goes up, crime is also likely to go up because the people they're desperate. So for me, deciding to move to the UK was never about a racial thing. It was more of a country security, stability thing. I thought, like, our daughters growing up in the UK, they'll have a different education, a different system. They might have better opportunities. And also, my philosophy is this, and I can always go back when it gets when it gets better, or when I feel like, or if it gets worse in the UK. I mean, the UK is not always like,
I mean, things
without its problems.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, if you were asking people from Ukraine, like last year in November, like where they would be, they wouldn't say we would be in the UK asking for, like, for refugees. So
yeah, you see, how quickly things can change.
Yeah, things can change. Yeah. So you can always go back.
Yeah. So we are always open, and so we haven't written off like, no, we're never going back. Forget about it. It's never been like that. It's always, we just look at what's right now, what's the best thing, or where's the best place to be. And it's also not just it's not just my decision anymore. It's not just for my sake.
Yeah.
I have a responsibility towards my children to also give them the best opportunity in life. And if it happens that, I mean, like we just said, how quickly things can change.
Yeah.
And if it happens, the day happens where we feel, well, it will actually be better to move back to South Africa and not live in the UK, we'll make that decision and move back. Because I mean, I have all my family there still. My brother used to live in the UK also, and I just a few months after we moved to the UK. He moved back to South Africa, so we almost just missed each other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we are very open to the idea that South Africa can still be a possibility one day. And
Yeah,
so many people, so many people.
Who do you think could move South Africa, or what do you think could happen to actually like maybe, who's like maybe the hope of South Africa to lead us?
Who? It's very difficult to say who. I think it'll be a slow process, because I think after so many years now of issues with corruption, things like just mismanagement, like load shedding is a thing. When I try to explain to people in the UK what's load shedding, they almost can't understand what's that concept.
Yeah, you look at, I mean, if the electricity will go off here for 13 minutes, the government would have to explain and explain and explain. Imagine 13 years.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
it's
just
like, schedules.
Yeah, it's crazy how we just like get on with things as South Africans, and we just let things slide, and we don't hold people like accountable. Yeah,
because the thing is I don't think it's going to be one politician or one political party that will just change everything. And I've been talking to my brother. He lives in Ermelo, in Mpumalanga.
Oh, in Ermelo, yeah.
Yeah, and he adopted a black boy. Well, he's now a man already. He was 15 when he adopted him. He's now 22. He recently actually got shot in his leg because two guys tried to mug him. But he's also, he's tough, and he's got training. He used to be an anti-poacher. So he knows how to handle himself and knows what to do. So they never robbed him, but they fired 2 shots off. One missed him, and one just like, luckily it was just a flesh wound in his leg. That obviously upset my brother a lot, because there's also now a lot of gang activities, and which I also found in Cape Town. Certain areas is very like gang crime, drugs, things like that. Where my brother then said something that was quite interesting. It's like a few years ago, like the generation now of people older than us, who was fighting against the struggle of the oppression of the apartheid regime, how the people all came together and pretty much overthrown or made the government change. It wasn't just a decision of the National Party handing it over to Nelson Mandela or the ANC. It was the influence of the majority of the country that brought the change. And I think every person that was involved with that can take credit for bringing democracy to South Africa. That's why I think the same thing almost needs to happen to get rid of the corruption and the crime, where people will stand up as a community or as a country to get rid of the corruption, of the criminals element, and be more involved in also supporting the police. Because those who know, and South Africans know, it's like the police has so much that they just can't handle. I've had my house being broken into. I know of people's cars that's been stolen, and the police say, well, they don't have the resources to investigate.
No. And also, like, I mean, the quality of the police, you know, it all starts there. And when you will know the difference between here and home. And how different do you get, like a culture shock when it comes to crime when you visit home?
Yeah, exactly. When I first moved here, when I used to go to buy groceries, I parked the car right in front of our front door, and then just a walkway into the house and back. I'll take 2 bags out, I'll close the boot, I'll lock the car, I will walk into the house, put the shopping down, I come out. And I mean, because it was just like, that's what I do.
Now for me, it was the other way around. Because I moved here in 2010 to study, and I went home to give birth to my son in 2014. I went back home. I went to the club, and I had my passport, my phones, my money, and everything. And I'm just have like my handbag. Like, yeah, I lived in the UK for like 5 years at that time. So going home, and I just had my handbag like that. Someone just cut it. And I was just like, 1 minute, I didn't have a bag. I was just like, what? So they got me, and I had my car broken into because I was too careless. So for me, it was kind of like, I was finding it too hard to adjust.
Yeah, because people thought I was crazy. Why are you locking your car? Well, then if in South Africa, you have R2 in your car lying on the dashboard, they'll smash a window and steal it. Or you can't leave a phone or your sunglasses in the car. Now I'm a lot more relaxed and not like for that reason. Obviously, if I park the car in town and walk away, of course, yes, I'm going to lock it.
Yeah.
But I used to, and people in the UK, they don't get the concept of burglar bars.
No.
They have no idea of that.
I had my small baby, and I was telling like my husband at the time, oh, we need to get burglar doors also on the windows. I was like, no, why would you do that? I was like, how can you leave a small baby alone? Yeah. Wow.
Because then also so many of the people I've talked to here in the UK, and my brother-in-law went to Cape Town for a holiday for like 2 weeks, and so many people said like, yeah, I've been to South Africa and Cape Town and Camps Bay, and yeah, I had a night, or Lost City, or they went to the Kruger Park, or they went to like, you know, just a really lovely safari holiday or beach holiday in Cape Town. It's like, yeah, you should live. Why do you live here? The weather here is so crap. And it's like, well, I didn't move to the UK for the weather, first of all. That wasn't my main reason. And second of all, you can't compare a 2-week holiday in a 5-star hotel or a 5-star lodge on safari with living in South Africa. You can't really compare the two. So, but I mean, honestly, as soon as South Africa sorts itself out, I'll be happy to move back.
Oh man, me too. Like I've had like even just like imaginations, like maybe if people can work together to maybe try and build the villages, you know? Because I think sometimes I have an uncle who works for the municipality in Cape Town. He lives in Side C in a squatter camp, but in the Eastern Cape, he's got the whole land. You know, but people are just running away from the villages because there's no resources for school. The schools are kind of broken down. And I think that's just like so many issues. If they can sort it out, we will be back home.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then I know just moments ago I said like, yeah, the people should come together and the people should like work together. And yeah, I am sitting in a total different country. I've left, so I don't want to sound like a hypocrite saying, oh yeah, or us South Africans need to sort it out, but not me. I'm leaving. Call me when you've done it, and I'll come back. So,
that's what we sound like. That's what we're sounding like now. Oh, sorry. Now, Philip, man, like, I just want to know about more of your paintings because you need to send me pictures on the edit. I'm just gonna put them up, like the whole.
Okay, because what I also did, is what I have here is you know, the big 5, the animals.
Yeah.
The rhino, the lion, the buffalo, elephant, and leopard. So I made a small collection of those 5. So and obviously to paint a scene is easy because like a mountain stands still. It doesn't move. I can take my time.
Okay.
But obviously animals is a different story. So what I've done is like from photos I've taken, then from the photo I'll create the art. So I have then.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
And made one of the leopard.
So where do you sell your paintings? Where can people buy, or how do people get in contact with you?
Well, okay, so I have an Etsy store.
Okay.
So yeah, as elephant, I just quickly want to show. I have an Etsy store where people can order
Yeah.
prints. The ones on Etsy is usually like prints. The originals are either
Yeah.
I really don't want to get rid of it, or someone else have bought it. But then whenever someone buys an original, I ask them permission also, because I mean, I know it's my intellectual property. I created it, but you bought it. So I'll ask the person, well, will you allow me to sell prints?
Okay.
Usually they say like, yes, because they already have the original.
Okay.
And then usually I make only like a limited amount of prints available also to make it more almost exclusive. Or if someone buys a print, they can also know, well, there's not many of them.
Okay.
So I have an Etsy site. The Etsy shop is called Art Lens Prints.
Okay.
ARTLE.
I'll put the link below.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
And then also I've actually most of the work I've sold is through Facebook. I have also the same again, Art Lens Prints, a Facebook page.
Okay.
And people often contact me, and I like to talk to the person also. I don't want to just like, I mean, obviously if they want to buy it, I'll never like say no. Oh no, let's talk first. And
Yeah.
then buy it. But I find the conversation also interesting, and I often post in Facebook groups like where you've seen the one in the South African one.
Yeah.
And that often leads to a conversation, and could end up in someone then buying some of my art, or if not, might make a new friend, or just ends up in a nice conversation also with someone else.
Well, there's this famous painting. Almost every house in the, I would say in the 80s and 90s, in the townships and villages had this picture. Oh, no, there's two of them. There's one of, I don't know if I have it. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
So it's a girl. She's wearing like what do you call it? There's like a reddish top, and she's crying. She's like a black girl with like knots, and she's got like tears. And the other one is called Mother and Child. No one knows. No one knows like who started it or who the actual people are. And it was in almost every single house in the township. So would you paint? Yeah. Would you paint that for me, or would you have to find the original?
If I don't know, well, if it's my version of that art,
I would love it. I would love
it. If you can send me an image of it,
okay.
Yeah, and I'll be happy to do it for you.
Oh wow, that would be amazing. I've asked this person on Instagram, and they told me no, we have to find the original source. I was like, but I couldn't find it. So it was either that girl with tears, or the Mother and Child, or Van Damme.
Okay.
Those three, like we're in every like single house. They're very, 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 very appreciated.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure.
Bye.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.